Well, getting a quarterback here that we know can play football and play winning football is a big part of that. That's a stabilizer, and that also is kind of it propels you forward because people want to come be a part of that. And yeah, I mean, this is an arms race every year. This is a competitive league every year. You can go from the top to the bottom in a year, and you can go from the bottom to the top in a year. And, Pete only knows one way, which is, let's go. We're trying to win right now. We're going to compete right now. And I only know one way too. We can be intelligently aggressive and bring the right kind of people and players into this building and stack it up to the point where we are a formidable foe. And then, as we get the momentum going, sports is very much momentum. It's game to game, it's week to week, it's season to season. And, once we have that rolling here in Vegas, people are going to want to be a part of it, and then we'll really go for it then.
John Spytek and Pete Carroll joining forces to come over here to Las Vegas and have one job: to turn this organization completely around and change the culture forever. And so far, I feel like they are making very high IQ moves and outsmarting the entire NFL during free agency. And in this video, not only are we going to hear from John Spytek, but we're going to listen to what he has to say, and we're going to break down exactly why these moves they're making are genius. Now, just yesterday, John Spytek and Pete Carroll brought in a very interesting linebacker and former Pro Bowl All-Pro Tampa Bay Buccaneer linebacker under John Spytek and Devin White. And I wanted to wait. I wanted to save exactly why I love this pickup for a little bit later in the video, and I want to talk about what they've done before this move and why everything is starting to make perfect sense. Now, since day one, they've prioritized not only smart additions, but really good value and high culture players. And they have done exactly that. When you look at the value they've gotten in this year's free agency class, it is unbelievable. And that's the reason they're playing chess. They're not playing checkers. They're not overpaying players. Trayvon Mulrig goes out and gets a 3-year, $51 million deal. And in return, the Raiders get Jeremy Chinn, 2 years, $16 million. I could argue Jeremy Chinn is a better fit for the defense. You lose Robert Spillane on a 3-year, $33 million deal. And then you sign a Landon Roberts to a 1-year, $3 million deal. I could argue a Landon Roberts is almost just as good, if not a little bit better, than Robert Spillane in some areas. You lose Divine Diablo for a 2-year, $14 million deal, and then sign Devin White to a 1-year, $2 million deal? They have done some things in free agency that you can't explain, and it's genius. Now, let's start off with Jeremy Chinn. This is a guy that adds so much damn versatility to a secondary. Not only can he play up in the box, he can play in the nickel, he can play as a midfield close, he can play in whatever defense you really need him to play. The versatility is something that stands out. Now, you're going to hear John Spytek talk in just a minute about Jeremy Chinn, but tell me this doesn't remind you a little bit of Cam Chancellor, man. I mean, this dude is an absolute unit. Look at this deep post trying to hit that mid-seam. And man, Jeremy Chinn reads this like a book. Like a book in a cover. This is a Tampa 2 defense, by the way. So his responsibility is this entire deep left side of the field. But once he realizes that there's no threats coming down that left sideline, he moves over because that's what you're supposed to do. He finds that seam. Boom! Big time hit. Jars the ball loose. This is a guy we're going to love.
I thought he played some of his best football, probably maybe the best football of his career in Washington last year. He's a guy that when he came out of Southern Illinois a handful of years ago in Tampa, we had a lot of respect for. I mean, he's a unique height, weight, speed guy at 6'3", running in the 4.3s. Highly intelligent player, very versatile on the back end, and that was something that Coach Carroll was looking for. So he's talking about bringing his defense to life and what is required at the different spots. You think back to those great Seattle defenses in the Cam Chancellor role. When Cam was a big man playing kind of the strong safety position. Jeremy's a little faster than Cam was, but from a body standpoint, they're pretty similar. And Pete just had a great vision for how this guy is going to come to life in our defense, the things that he's going to be able to do, the versatility that he brings. And so as we got to a point where we realized that Trayvon was maybe going to head in a different direction, we had to figure out how do we solve this. And Jeremy was a guy we zeroed in on, and he's got some familiarity with the system with playing for DQ last year, and you can kind of see some of the stuff that we're going to ask Jeremy to do on tape last year, and those are comforting when you're bringing a player in that you don't have a lot of background with.
And one more play I want to show you. Jeremy Chinn is playing this free safety role. So again, you see him play a lot of strong, you see him play a lot of free, you see him play a lot of nickel, you see him play up in the box. This dude, again, that versatility is something I love. But look at this play here, as we're going to get a quick screen to Malik Neighbors. He ends up bouncing this thing all the way around to the opposite side. And watch Jeremy Chinn throughout this play. Read, react, and then attack. Look at him shoot. Look, he's a heat-seeking missile. This is a guy that is going to be a difference maker. A difference maker. He ranked 48th when it came to run defense as a safety, right? He also ranked 48th when it came to pass coverage. And again, just one of those guys that brings a different type of culture to your locker room. And man, I absolutely love this signing. I can't wait. Now, real quickly, guys, before we break down a Landon Roberts and Devin White, do me a big favor, hit the like button if you want more Las Vegas Raiders breakdowns, right? And also comment down below part 2, right? Or P2. This will help me understand that you guys are, 1, enjoying the videos, and 2, and more importantly, you want more. As long as I see P2 in the comments, I'm going to continue to break down the Raiders. Also, and more importantly, subscribe if you're new, guys. It's free. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe. And right, we're going to be covering the Raiders all year, all offseason, the NFL draft. We're going to have videos for every single draft pick, the initial reaction, and then later on, we're going to be breaking down the entire class with film analysis and whatnot. So join the family, and let's kind of dive back into some more film. And then you just talk about a Landon Roberts. And again, this guy is a freak of nature when it comes to blowing up plays in the backfield, destroying offensive linemen. Look at this play as he nails the pulling guard with a pulling tackle right into the running back, Aaron Jones here. Amazing, right? You talk about what a Landon Roberts has, and the one thing I preach on this channel is value. If you can find a way to add a very similar player in terms of talent, which they did, I know a lot of people love Robert Spillane, but guys, let's be honest. Landon Roberts is not much worse, if he's worse at all. He's one of the best run stoppers in the NFL, and he came almost $30 million cheaper.
Yeah, he's so fun to watch. Captain for New England, Super Bowl winner. He will run through your face, and
he made that clear.
Yeah, and really enjoys doing it. Those guys are hard to find. He may have actually been a better linebacker 15 or 20 years ago when it was 22 personnel and it was power and ISO and all that, because after a couple of times, I think fullbacks probably don't want that smoke anymore. And his commitment to the game and excitement to play the game and passion for the game really has always stood out on film for me, watching him through the years, the different places he's played. And there's a leadership I think that he's going to bring. There's a accountability that he's going to bring. It's really all that he knows, right? I mean, he's undersized, under 6 feet tall. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to count him out, and here he is still playing and playing at a good level. And the physicality and the violence that he's going to bring to our defense is something that really, again, if you look at through Pete's hallmark teams, like that was always there, and he's going to be a big part of what we're going to establish on that side of the ball.
And then there's Devin White, and I absolutely love this signing. There's a lot of people out there saying, dude, he's terrible, he's not this anymore, he's not that anymore. Guys, I don't care what you say. In the NFL, there's smart moves and there's stupid moves. If you were to sign Devin White to a 3-year, $37 million deal, yeah, it would probably be really stupid in the long run. But Devin White is pretty much the same linebacker overall compared to Devin White. If you look at his stats over the last few years, they're very comparable, right? Maybe Devin White's a little bit better as a cover linebacker. He's only 27 years old. He has All-Pro and Pro Bowl, Super Bowl experience, and he played his best football when he was with Tampa Bay. John Spytek already knows the work ethic, knows the person, knows the human, and clearly he said, I want this guy on my football team. He can change the culture. And when you sign a guy to a 1-year, $3 million deal, whatever the deal is going to be, it looks like it's going to be very cheap, right? Maybe a minimum. It's value. It's low risk, high reward potential. If you say this is a bad signing, you don't make sense. If you don't know football, maybe he doesn't make the team. Maybe he doesn't start. Maybe he does start. The possibilities are endless. He could be a Pro Bowler next year, or he might not make the team. At the end of the day, you don't lose anything because it's such a low-risk signing. And that's why I love it. He's got Pro Bowl potential. He's got great athleticism, sideline-to-sideline speed, and he adds a lot of versatility, a lot of depth to the team. He could be a day one starter, or he might not make the team. At the end of the day, This is a genius move instead of bringing back Diablo for a long-term, more money deal for pretty much the same player with lower potential. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, man.